Hello, this is Techie once again, the former spokesperson for the American Cultural Tradition and/or Cultural Memory Complaint Department, and the current head and/or chief and/or director and/or head chief and/or chief head director and/or head director chief of the Stochastic Intelligence Agency. And as you can see, this is a untouched photograph of me in the act of, not in the act of saying, hello, this is Techie once again, but saying something else. I'm not sure exactly what I'm saying in this picture, but in any case, maybe it'll make itself clear as we proceed further into the ongoing investigation and indictment of James Comey, former director and/or head and/or chief of the Federal Bureau of Intelligence, and current enemy of the state of the Donald J. Imperial State Status Quo. And as you know, enemies of the Donald J. State get black bagging over their heads. And so we're coming to you today in both our roles, the former role as the spokesperson for the American Cultural Tradition and/or Cultural Complaint Department, Cultural Memory Complaint Department, and in our current role as the head and/or chief and/or director, etc., of the Stochastic Intelligence Agency. And the first thing that we're here to inform you of is that there's been a sign in the investigation, and one of the snags is, or snafus, or whatever you want to call it, is that Judge Lindsay Valhalla, go ahead and show the picture, which documents what we're saying and provides evidence of the following. Oh yes, okay, so here she is, and as you can see, that she's with her friend, who she met after he rode his flying pony into Valhalla at the suggestion and discretion of Mr. aCiPhtTh, the director of the new FBI, but it doesn't stand for Federal Bureau of Intelligence or Investigation anymore. Was it intelligence or investigation? Well, non-intelligent investigation. Whatever it is, it has something to do with the Aryan Jesus and his association with the Manson family. In any case, as you can see, Judge Lindsay Valhalla has a few questions, and the first question is, and we'll just let her say it in her own words. What's with all of these contradictory signatures, Miss Hooligan? And the contradictory signatures that she's referring to is that in the indictment, Miss what was the name? Lindsay Hooligan, signed several different versions of the indictment, and some of those included decisions from the grand jury. That included all of the charges, and some included some of the charges, and some included none of the charges, and there was one that she signed that said that the obvious misrepresentation of 5s and 7s, and 7s and 5s, and 6s as 9s, and 9s as 6s in the numerical performance of Mr. James, former director of the FBI, Comey, demonstrated that he was in fact pro DEI, because of his dyscalculia and or dyslexia and or whatever it was, getting in the way of making those numbers, clarifying that a 5 is a 5 and a 7 is a 7 and a 6 is a 6 and a 9 is a 9, and getting all that confused. Ms. What's her name again? Lindsay Hooligan, also said that the grand jury found him guilty on counts of let's see, what was the word they used? Illegally favoring DEI practices. And according to Ms. aCiPhtTh, the love child of Charlie Manson, and according to Ms. Charlie Kirk, anything DEI that is anything that is, proposes the fair and equal treatment of Americans across the board, including diversity, equality, and inclusion, is yes it is, it's anti-Aryan Jesus. And this idea of it being anti-Aryan Jesus constitutes the promotion of any DEI policies, or just, simply having a disability, like obviously James Comey does, confusing those 5s and 7s and 6s and 9s, as, an act against the state, and she, apparently Miss Lindsay Hooligan signed a statement, and that the grand jury had found him guilty of being anti-American and anti-Aryan Jesus and pro DEI, and DEI apparently is some, according to this group, the anti. Being DEI is being the anti-Aryan Jesus, right? The Antichrist. Well, this is the anti-Aryan Jesus, and you can see how perturbed Mr. aCiPhtTh is about all of this, and Charlie's just shaking his head. He's not too happy about it either. So anyway, the question was, what's with all these contradictory signatures, Miss Hooligan? And as you can see, that's definitely what she said. And it turns out, though, we have evidence that it's not just these Comey papers that have contradictory claims, but that in fact that Miss Hooligan, or Ms. Hooligan, Ms. Hooligan has a long history of signing contradictory signatures, and we're gonna go ahead and take a look at some of those. Okay, I'm gonna close this out. Okay, so this is Miss Hooligan, and you can see down here, she got a little picture of the Gulf of America. It's called the Gulf of America. Now, if you look closely, that's her signature. Now, I don't know why Miss Hooligan's signature looks like it says Frank Pizza backwards, but it does. And anyway, this signature that looks like it says Frank Pizza, backwards, it actually says Lindsay Hooligan. And you see, it says Gulf of America right there, see? And then, but watch this, next image. Same Lindsay Hooligan, same signature, I don't know if you can see. Same, looks like that was Frank Pizza, but it's actually Lindsay Hooligan. And look what it says here, Gulf of Mexico. So that's contradiction in and of itself, right? So that's one example. Here's the next example. Ready? Are you ready? Here it comes. Are you ready? All right, so here we see Miss Hooligan, and there's her diploma right over here, you know, that proves that she's not just a beauty contest winner, but in fact an attorney. And as you can see, that she has a little, she has a picture on a wall there, and it says, I'm really a beauty pageant runner-up, not an attorney. And you can see that same signature. Looks like Frank Pizza, spelled backwards. And this was presented by this news channel here. See? You can see? And there it is. I'm really a beauty pageant runner-up, not an attorney, signed. You know, you have to interpret the signature. It's a little weird. Lindsay Hooligan. And then watch this next one, though. Okay, same idea. Those rumors about me being a beauty pageant runner-up are completely false. I'm a fantastic attorney. Oh, you want to go back to the other one? Let's see what she's saying. Okay, those rumors about me being a beauty pageant runner-up are completely false. I'm going to see the signature, and then we'll go back to the other one. Oh, no, that's a different one. Let's see, where'd the other one go? Try this one. There it is. I'm really a beauty pageant runner-up, not an attorney. So that's a contradiction right there, right? Isn't it? Yeah. And so the pattern is established. Now, here's another one. This is the final one, and we're just going to demonstrate that. So, you know, really, the truth is that Judge Lindsay Valhalla really doesn't have anything to complain about because it's not just a Comey thing. This is just a pattern. This is what she does. Okay. Here we go. And there she is. You can see she's talking to this reporter. She's very happy. She's a very pretty lady. He's very happy to be interviewing her. Here's the mic right there. And then look what she's got in her hands. It says these are the Jeffrey Epstein files right here. This is Jeffrey Epstein's file. And you see there's a signature right there. Frank Pizza, spelled backwards. And then look what it says. Let's keep Jeffrey hanging. It says right there. Okay, right? And then look at this one. Look at this one now. Same lady, same interviewer. This is just a couple seconds later. Let's not keep Jeffrey hanging. Right, see? And she signed that one too. So anyway, that's the update right there. And you know, we're just saying that because of the pattern, Judge Lindsay Valhalla doesn't really have much to complain about. All right, once again, this is Turkey signing out. Have a good day.